We continue our polynomial unit with using long division to factor. You can use long division of polynomials to factor. If the remainder is 0, the polynomial you divided by is a factor. So let's use division to determine that the given polynomial is a factor of f of x. Then use the result to completely factor f of x. Let's start by setting up our problem for long division. Remember, if there are any missing pieces in here, we need to account for it with a 0. But there's not. Now let's divide. Using the steps from yesterday, divide the first term into the first term. So x cubed divided by x is equal to x squared. Line x squared over the 2x squared. Now we multiply x squared to each term. So x squared times 4 is 4x squared, and x squared times x is x cubed. The next step is to draw our line and change signs and combine. So different signs subtract, so x cubes will go away because they're opposite pairs. Negative 4, positive 2 gives me a negative 2x squared. Bring down the negative 11x and the negative 12. And let's begin again. Divide the first terms. Negative 2x squared divided by x. 1 goes into negative 2 times, and subtract the exponents since we're dividing, so that's going to be negative 2x. Line it up over the negative 11x. Now multiply negative 2x times 4, so negative 2x times 4 is negative 8x. Negative 2x times x is negative 2x squared. Draw our line and change signs. The x squares will cancel, and this leaves negative 3x minus 12. Let's do it again. X into negative 3x will be negative 3. Let's distribute again. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Draw our line and change signs. I get a remainder of 0. So x plus 4 is one of the factors. So I have x plus 4 times x squared minus 2x minus 3. If I multiply both of these together, I get x cubed plus 2x squared minus 11x minus 12. But is this completely factored? So taking our flow chart, we need to see is there a GCF? No. Does it have 2 terms? No. This is 3 terms. So I'm going to do the snowflake method to see if I can factor any further. So the target product is negative 3, A times C. The target sum is negative 2. The two numbers that multiply together to give me negative 3, but combine to give me negative 2, are negative 3 and positive 1. So x squared minus 2x minus 3 can be written as x minus 3 times x plus 1. And we still have to multiply it by x plus 4 to get the polynomial x cubed plus 2x squared minus 11x minus 12 out of it. Example 2. Let's set up our problem for long division. 2x plus 3. And in here I have no missing terms, so I'm just going to write down 2x cubed plus 11x squared plus 18x plus 9. Divide first term in the first term. 2x goes in the 2x cubed, x squared times. Distribute the x squared to 3, so x squared times 3 is 3x squared, and x squared times 2x is 2x cubed. Draw our line and change signs. Now combine our terms. These will cancel. 11 minus 3 is 8x squared. Now bring down the 18x and the 9. And then begin again. 2x into 8x squared is 4x times. Distribute the 4x to every term in the divisor. 4x times 3 is 12x. And 4x times 2x is 8x squared. Draw the line and change signs, and then combine. 18 minus 12 is 6x. Bring down the 9 and begin again. 2x goes into 6x 3 times. Now distribute the 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 2 is 6x. Draw the line and change signs. I get 0 as a remainder. So 2x plus 3 is one of our factors. I need to determine now if I can also factor or continue to factor x squared plus 4x plus 3. So let's use our snowflake method to determine if we can go any further. The target product is 1 times 3, which is 3. The target sum is 4. Remember, ax is right here, 1x, and the two numbers that multiply together to give me 3, but combine to give me 4, or 3 and 1. So this can be factored further. And this one's done. Last problem. Set up our division. Remember to place a 0x for anything that's missing. I am missing x cubed and x. So I need some placeholders for that. So plus 0x cubed minus 13x squared plus 0x plus 36. Now start our process. X into x to the 4th power, x cubed times. Line it up over the 0x cubed. Now distribute. X cubed times 3 is 3x cubed. X cubed times x is x to the 4th. Draw our line and change signs. And we get negative 3x cubed. Bring down these terms and begin again. X into negative 3x cubed, negative 3x squared times. Negative 3x squared times 3 is negative 9x squared. Negative 3x squared times x is negative 3x cubed. Draw our line and change signs. And combine. So the 3x cubes will go away. Negative 13 plus 9 is negative 4x squared. Bring down 0x and plus 36. And start again. X goes into negative 4x squared, negative 4x times. Now distribute. Negative 4x times 3 is negative 12x. Negative 4x times x is negative 4x squared. Draw our line and change signs. And combine. The opposite pairs, 4x squared, will go away. And I'm left with 12x plus 36. And start over again. X goes into 12x 12 times. Now distribute 12 to each term in the divisor. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 times x is 12x. Draw our line and change signs. All of these will cancel. I end up with a remainder of 0. So x plus 3 is a factor. And I'm left with x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. Now I need to factor this. There's not a GCF, and this is not a difference of two squares, and it's not a difference or sum of cubes, and it's not 3 terms. I do have 4 terms, so let's factor by grouping. So group the first terms together and group the second 2 terms together. In the first term, I could take out a x squared, and this will leave me with x minus 3. In the second term, I could pull out a negative 4, and this will leave me with x minus 3. So I have x squared minus 4 times x minus 3. Remember, I still have x plus 3. Now remember, at the end of our flowchart, we have to check and make sure I cannot factor anymore. Now x plus 3 and x minus 3 are finished. They cannot be factored any further. But x squared minus 4, this is 2 terms and it's squared, so I need to check and see if I could factor more. So using our flowchart, first the GCF, then check to see if it's 2 terms. Since this is a minus sign, I'm checking for difference of squares or difference of cubes. In this case, it's a difference of squares. So I have x plus 2 times x minus 2. And these are the factors that multiply together to give me x to the 4th minus 13x squared plus 36.